dirangkai untuk lebih memperluas pengetahuan masyarakat Indonesia akan India dan sehingga dapat lebih mempererat lagi jalinan persahabatan antara Indonesia dan India. On behalf of the Embassy of India and JNIC Jakarta, I proudly welcome you all to A Slice of India, a program that showcases glimpses of India's richness and culture.
Gembira menyambut Bapa Ibu dan semua yang hadir di sini dalam acara berjudul A Slice of India and Paramadina. Ini acara yang istimewa karena membawa kepingan-kepingan budaya India ke kampus yang luar biasa ini. Welcome to you all. This morning, we will try and showcase some elements of the Indian culture in this prestigious university. India and Indonesia have shared very close commercial and cultural ties for over 2,000 years. The legacy of this contact can be found in all aspects of our contemporary cultures, languages, arts, crafts, social customs, rituals, religion, literature, and architectural heritage. Both our great nations are multi-ethnic, multi-religious, plural identities with strong secular values. But in spite of this long history of cultural contacts, if I were to mention Indian culture and ask a young Indonesian what are his first impressions about Indian culture, I'm sure many of them would exclaim Shah Rukh Khan. And if I were to ask them, could you say something about the close cultural links between our two nations, probably many of us would say, yes, of course, Norman Kamaru and Thaya Thaya. Well, today we shall make an attempt to bring to your campus a glimpses of our culture, a bit about our dances, our music, our yoga, our cooking, a tradition of henna. Henna is the thing that you apply on the hands. And we will also show you a little film, an animated film in one of the rooms next to this hall. We will also have a discussion on instruments of cultural diplomacy, India and Indonesia relationship, a topic which is very aptly chosen. We have also published a little booklet on the relationship between our two countries, which is of course part of the goodie bag, as Ibu Dina Vishnu likes to call it. And probably I'm sure you would enjoy reading it, more so because it has been compiled by students of this university and just published by us. We'll try and tell you that Indian culture means much more than Bollywood, Shah Rukh Khan and Norman. Thereafter we'll have something very exciting. You're going to see some of your friends dressed up in Indian costumes and presenting the different regions of India. Our association with this university is very, very profound. This university has been extremely supportive of all our endeavors. Through this idea of having a slice of India in Paramadina, I was pleasantly surprised to hear from Ibu Dina that they had already thought about a project like this. Very soon, hopefully, inshallah, we're going to have a rotational chair on Indian studies in this university, and soon you will have an Indian scholar telling you more about India in this university, in this campus. I must add that this event has been possible only because of the great support of Ibu Dina Vishnu, the wonderful director of the Paramadina Graduate School of Diplomacy and International Relations. Ibu Dina has been extremely forthcoming with her ideas, and she had answers to all our issues. She is truly an asset, and it was a pleasure working with you, ma'am. Ambassador Biren Nanda has great interest in cultural activities, and without his guidance and support, this program would not have been possible. Ambassador Nanda would be leaving shortly to join as India's ambassador in Australia, and sir, we'll miss you dearly. Our artists have worked hard, and I'm sure you can look forward to a wonderful...
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Namaste. Mira Nam Anies Baswedan Hi. My name is Anies Baswedan, and I'm director of Paramadina University. His Excellency Biren Nanda, Ambassador of India to the Republic of Indonesia, and Ibu, Bapak Zahur Zaidi, Director of Jawaharlal Nehru Indian Cultural Center, Pak Wijayanto, Bapak-bapak, Ibu, and all of our students. First of all, I would like to welcome to our campus to celebrate the slice of India that we are hosting today. It is indeed an honor for us at Paramadina to host this very program. The relationship between Indonesia and India has dated centuries. We have shared so many similarity between the two nations, and I think the slice of India today helped to re-glue that connections that has been there for centuries. As we also learn today from the booklet that was also produced by our students to sort of explore about the relationship between Indonesia and India. I remember even from the beginning of the Republic, in 1946, India helped Indonesia by sending medicines, clothing, machineries at the time when we were in a very difficult situations. Often, friendships shows its significance at the time of challenge, and that has also been shown. The friendship between Indonesia and India, friendship that actually has been there for a very long time. And even in 1949, not long after that, when Indonesia was attacked by the Netherlands, India supported Indonesia by holding Asia Conference on Indonesia in New Delhi. And at that time, the leader of India, Jawaharlal Nehru, which is the name of the cultural center, which used the name of the cultural center here, led the conference by himself. It was a zone of friendships that definitely is very strong. In the past few decades, we have been busy with our own issues. India is also busy with its domestic challenge. Indonesia is also busy with its domestic challenge. After independence, we realized the issue is not only at the global level that we need to address, but also domestic. And that has absorbed so much of our energy. Today, India has emerged as a new emerging global power. Indonesia tried to follow that path. The path is still long, but indeed we're following that path. I think it is also time for our youth to start re-gluing that connections. Culturally, I think we have been connected. It was just mentioned. Break to Norman definitely helped to re-glue, but beyond the formal relationships, I think if you look at the name, India, Indonesia, Rupiah, Rupee, many of our names is actually very much similar, and it shows that similarity. But not only that, not only the similarity in terms of cultural, but similarity in terms of challenge. When we say Indonesia is an extremely diverse nation, hundreds of spoken languages, numerous, more than 150 ethnic groups, then you visit India, suddenly it triple, 4 times in terms of diversity. So we are sharing that similarity, but also the challenge of putting how should we organize a state that give rooms to religious activity, with both society is very religious society, but yet the state would like to be organized in ways that is modern. India and Indonesia are facing similar challenge. How should we organize the state in a modern way but give rooms to religious activity? Something that is so embedded to us. And I think the two nations can share a lot of things in that area. So I have a personal memory on this. When I went to school in the United States, almost all my friends were from India. And we spent weekends together, because in my university there's only also very few Indonesians. In Maryland, with very minimum Indonesians. So friends are almost all from India, and that there's a bus line, commuter from our campus to Greenbelt area. The Greenbelt area is where most of our Indian friends stays, and that bus is called Greenbelt Lines. That's the official name. The unofficial name is New Delhi Express, because almost everyone in that bus is from India. And it was a very dear friendships. And I think let's continue that friendships not only at the political level, at the formal level, but also between the youth. And I hope the Slice of India that we are hosting today allow our students to see India closer, to engage closer, and hopefully it will help to glue these two nations stronger, and we can face challenges together in the future. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum.
Dr. Anis Baswedan, Rector of Universitas Paramadina, Ibu Fari Baswedan, Bapak Wijayanto, the Deputy Rector, Ibu Dina Vishnu, Director of the Paramadina Graduate School of Diplomacy and International Relations, Ibu Yona Nasution, dear friends, faculty from the University Paramadina. It's indeed a great pleasure for me to be here today, and I really don't have very much more significant to add to the very learned addresses made by my predecessors. They have covered the full gamut of 2,000 years of our cultural relations, our commercial relations, the close collaboration between the leaderships of India and Indonesia during the period of our freedom struggle, and the challenges and opportunities that we as diverse societies face in today's world. I think therefore it is all the more important for us to learn about each other, because there are many similar challenges and many similar opportunities. If you look at the story of India's contact with Indonesia, 2,000 years ago, when the trade routes went from the hands of the Romans into the hands of Indian and Indonesian sailors, when Indonesian sailors were traveling to the western and eastern coast of India, all the way up to East Africa, when Indian sailors were going all the way through Indonesia, all the way up to Vietnam, there was really, what was the incentive, what was the motive behind this trade, behind this great venture, people taking great risk? It was trade. It certainly wasn't the transmission of culture in the beginning. But what contributed to this exchange of culture was the monsoon wind. The Indian sailors used to leave India with the monsoon winds in the months of November and December and stay in these islands till May, when the monsoon winds turn the other way. So this could really be a school project on how the monsoon, the weather patterns have influenced historically the commercial and cultural relations between our two countries. We could think of a project on how much do we have common between our languages. It's really amazing when I reflect on it. India and Indonesia, if you look at Bahasa Indonesia and you look at our national language, Hindi, we have common words from Sanskrit, but not only from Sanskrit, from Arabic, from Portuguese, because we are both like a river of civilization. We are today what we are because of all the influences that we have had throughout our whole history. So if the Portuguese had been in India, there has been some influence on Indian culture. If the Portuguese had been in Indonesia, there have been some influences on Indonesian culture. And it's really amazing how many words you will find in common. Similarly, if you look at the arts and crafts, you look at things like tie and dye, you look at things like ikat. Today, because of the trading over 2000 years, you find ikat in India, Indonesia, Laos, Cambodia, Philippines, Okinawa. Even Okinawa has ikat, men wear ikat shirts. All because of trade and the monsoon winds. So these are all things that actually we could study. The common elements in our cultures, common elements in our social rituals and customs. This is not what we are very much aware of, which I have observed. This again can be a subject of research, and it's very simple. Basically, an Indian student has to sit with an Indonesian student, and you have to talk about the common rituals and customs in marriage, in coming of age, in growing up, festivals, and you will find there are many, many common elements. And it is natural because we are neighbors, we live close by, and there was a lot of contact between our societies.
Okay, this is the tabla. This wooden box is called as Indian harmonium. And now Paramadina is going to give out a token of exchange to the Embassy of India in JNICC. Thank you, Mr. Binanda, Mr. Zahur, Bapak Anies Baswedan, dan Ibu Dina. Sebagai salah satu tarian tradisional terpenting di India hingga awal abad 20, Bharatanatyam tidak pernah ditarikan di tempat lain selain kuil oleh para dewadasi atau pelayan Tuhan dalam kaitan dengan upacara persembayangan. Kesakralan dari permentasan tarian ini bergeser seiring dengan berjalannya waktu.
instruments of cultural diplomacy, India and Indonesia relationship. Now, this morning we've been, our senses have been really spoiled from day one, from the beginning. We've seen traditional dance